Thank you for joining Week in Geek. This is Why So Sidious, a nerd podcast. Pretty slow week of nerd news. So, we pulled what we could and we're going to talk about it because there is enough to talk about, but nothing groundbreaking here. We're going to get into the potential of some trailers coming out of the DCU, Lantern, Supergirl. James is going to address his Batman in a really kind of offhanded way about when it's going to come out, but might as well talk about it. And then we got Wonder Man trailer. So it's me, Jeremy. We got Andy, and we're giving you our nerd news today. So we are at Why So Sidious Pod, TikTok, Instagram, X, YouTube. So give us a follow, subscribe, check us out. And thank you for getting us to 1,000 followers on YouTube. Working a couple years on that, so we're really stoked about it. And yeah, so let's get into the news. Andy, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing well, thank you very much. End of a rather busy and fun weekend as well. As you very well know, I had a few drinks on the Friday night, which I don't get to do that very often. But yeah, excited to wrap up this week's news, especially on the back of the fact that you guys have had a busy week yourselves with what you've been watching.
Yeah, little Stranger Things. We have the episode. We'll have the episode out shortly. I mean, probably the same day as This Week in Geek. So our coverage of the first half of Volume 1, so chapters 1 and 2. And we'll keep watching them. We'll keep giving you Stranger Things content. Our first topic today is Wonder Man trailer. I'm curious what you think of this show in general, Andy, or, if you're excited about it, if you could see any purpose. And if this last trailer, there was a new teaser focusing on Trevor Slattery. It was a very weird kind of trailer, but all of the trailers have kind of like dove into this like behind the scenes of acting kind of thing. And we also hear that it's supposed to actually address Marvel's kind of mediocre phase that they've been through the last, half decade or more. So what are your thoughts on Wonder Man?
Yeah, it's a weird one because it's yet another one of those shows that they kind of planned a while ago. I think it was filmed a while ago, a bit like Ironheart as well. And the fact that that was filmed like 2 years ago before they dropped it. And so it's kind of like an old show for them now that they've been holding on to for a while and they're finally sort of putting it out there. But it's a show that no one really asked for. I don't think no one's clamoring to really see it, or no one was calling to have a Wonder Man in the MCU. Rumors are that he's going to be one of the most powerful people in the MCU, and if that's the case, I don't know why they're doing it through a TV show. I don't see the sense in the MCU if they're introducing someone really big who's going to be like a top dog, that they introduce that through a TV show. I just don't see that the way of being it. So yeah, a weird character to bring into it. I don't personally know an awful lot about him from the comics, but yeah, this one just seems like a Chapek era old school one that they just have like had in the closet and they're just waiting to sort of shuffle it out a bit like Ironheart.
It really, really does. Are you familiar with the connection of Ultron and Wonder Man from the comics?
Yes, I am aware of that. Yeah.
So do you think that there could be a connection with Vision Quest coming out?
I mean, that is an interesting thing to do. I think they're keeping the MCU's sort of stepped away from having direct connections that way, though, isn't it? A little bit. So I don't think there's going to be. I don't know. It's a hard one to say because you could see there being like a Vision cameo somewhere towards the end that then ties him into maybe Vision Quest, but I don't think he will be in Vision Quest. I think they've got too much going on there as it is. So maybe there might be a slight link to it, or a passing link through maybe something. Yeah, it's a weird one. I don't see it really having a serious connection to that compared to what there was in the comics anyway. But yeah, I just don't really see it. Maybe it's small, like I said, you could just see a Vision cameo somewhere, but literally for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, I always fall into the pit of like these things that are connecting too much, and it's just the timing of it with Vision Quest, which does include Ultron coming out right next to Wonder Man. So the nerd in me just really wants to believe there's a really cool connection there, even though like I'm not a Wonder Man fan, right? And overall, I'm really not looking forward to the show that much. I think you nailed it. I think it's a Chapek era film, series. But that would be the one thing that make me really excited if he does tie into. Maybe they do need his consciousness to wake up the previous Vision, or that's how Ultron comes back to life or something like that. So overall, I'm not excited, but a little part of me hopes that there's a bigger purpose for it.
Yeah, I mean that latest teaser obviously focused on Trevor Slattery that we know from Iron Man 3 and from Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. He's been a fun addition to the MCU in a way, even though he's not really a serious character. So a bit weird that they've shuffled him back into it because again, I thought they wanted to go down a more serious route, and I don't think Wonder Man's going to be too serious from what I've seen so far. But I also don't think we've had a serious trailer yet for this show. We had like a teaser,
Right.
like a teaser trailer, and then we've had this, which is just like a fake interview with Trevor Slattery or a documentary, and then we've had no proper out there. This is what's coming because it's coming
Yeah.
in what January now, so we're not far away from it.
Dude, you're right. Yeah, there's been nothing but teasers, nothing but beating around the bush, nothing but like vague representations of what this show is going to be. It's such a weird marketing campaign because, like,
Mm.
I don't know anybody who's like excited about this. Certainly, the trailers haven't done anything like that for like a show that already no one's excited about. You would think they would want to put more efforts into their trailer, but it does look very artsy. It looks like they're going for a very strange angle, and hearing that they're going to address the Marvel's kind of era of mediocrity,
Mm.
I really like that. And also maybe they're going to address superhero fatigue and stuff like that is what I'm hearing. So, you know, you never know. They could do something really tricky and clever and make it kind of charming or something, but you know, expectations aren't all that high.
I mean, they did it a little bit, didn't they, in like Deadpool and Wolverine, where they had them talk a little bit about the multiverse saga or just take a couple of jabs at it. But you kind of maybe expect that from like a Deadpool film where he can break the fourth wall. So the fact that they may be in universe addressing it is going to be an interesting one. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how they do that.
All right. All right. Now let's get into DCU news. We got kind of a coy comment from James Gunn when he was asked about when the Batman's coming out. And he gives his update. He says Batman will come out before 2030, which is obviously, I mean, he's not really, that's not a serious update, but how are you feeling about the Batman, Andy? How do you think, or do you think we're waiting too long, building up too much different DCU stuff? You know, they're starting off a franchise without one of your main characters
Mm.
in sight, like his first movie. How are you feeling about Batman, DCU, Pattinson, all that?
It's an interesting one because I know that first of all, James Gunn said that you got to treat the DCU more like Star Wars in terms of how the timeline is rather than Marvel. So the Marvel's like linear; it's all like done in like date order. Whereas I remember him saying that the DCU is not. They can jump around at different times and introduce things. So they can say, okay, you've had the Superman film. Now we're going to do Supergirl that's like a year later, but then we might do Batman that's going to be 4 years before that. And so that if that's true, then that's a weird way, but because he hasn't got the established timeline yet of like the base of where everything is, where you can start jumping back and forth to show things that way. In terms of the Batman, I think the reason that he said this is because we've got Robin Pattinson's Batman. That's the Batman 2's got to come out first, and so he wants to sort of hold fire on the proper DCU Batman. What was it, the Brave and the Bold that they were going to be doing? He wants to hold fire on that until they've got Batman 2 out the way because obviously there's been heavy rumours that he's just going to make Robert Pattinson's Batman the DCU Batman, and then he's had to go back and go, actually, no, we're not doing that at all. And so, yeah, then I think that's coming out, what, 2027? So he's got to hold fire to get that film out the way, is to not confuse everyone, because whilst people aren't stupid, people are stupid. And they might go, well, hang on a minute, is this Robert Pattinson? Is he actually the DCU Batman? So, I think they've got to get that out of the way first. So it's no surprise to me that they're going to take so long to do this. But also in your point of starting off the franchise without one of its strongest players, I think we talked about this before, to be fair, and the fact that it is weird that you're putting out there your first two films are going to be Superman and Supergirl, and then you got Lantern's TV show. So where are you with Batman? Where are you with Wonder Woman? Where are you with some of the other big hitters that kind of we've come to associate and make up the big roster of the DCU? Where's the Flash? You know, where's all these characters that are we not going to get these realistically all of these characters until what, like 2040 now? Is it going to take another 15 years to incorporate all these characters and get this all set up? Because that's going to take the piss a little bit, I think, and it's not going to serve him well to wait so long to get everyone together.
Yeah. Part of it is we do have to be patient, but another part of it is we did Superman and now you got Supergirl and now you're going to get Superman 2. And then not only that, we're also doing Jimmy Olsen. Like we're sticking in this one corner of the DCU and you don't have, you know, Batman's one of probably the most popular comic character ever next to Spider-Man. So I think they are missing out a little bit on that. You got to build that foundation. But if they are going to build Gotham up around Batman, if they're going to wait till 2028 or something like that, then at least they are doing that. We have Clayface next, so that'll be our first official like look into Gotham on the big screen there. So I'm almost okay with it if you're going to give me another Batman villain in between Clayface and
Mm.
Brave and the Bold, because there'll be other Gotham references here and there. And if you're going to build up Batman and do it like a legend and have him show up, like that could be very impactful
Mm.
with a universe that's already established. But I'm getting a little more worried about establishing the whole Superman Jimmy Olsen corner so much. And that just makes me, and not only that, we have to wait further for lanterns now. And that's another one of those corners of the DCU that I think I'm really excited to get a look into. And I think the general audience will benefit from getting away from Superman characters. So now we're getting Supergirl before that even. And then, so, we need a different taste of the DCU. And if you're not going to show us Batman, I would really appreciate it. It'd be cool if they built up the legend of Batman along the way, before we get him. But that could be really impactful down the line with a well-established DCU.
Yeah, I get you on that front. I mean, yeah, Supergirl next year, and obviously, I think we're getting was it Man of Tomorrow's 2027. So yeah, they're hitting straight in there. So I think in Man of Tomorrow, some references to Batman at least would be good. Just like you said, just start building it up, start treating things as if you're building towards the entrance of a character, because you want his entrance to be big. You want that first film to hit so hard, but to have already had like the rumors and everything going through, or like just Superman. Like I keep hearing about this Bat guy in Gotham. He's like taking up. Yeah. You just want that mentioning in there and stuff. So yeah, I completely agree with you on that front.
Have I asked you what would your favorite Batman villain be for the DCU Brave and the Bold?
Oh, that is a tough one. Because you want to go classic and you want to see like him up against his best, but like, do you save his best for later? Do you go like a lower level of rogues to start with and then build him up towards someone like the Joker? I think because it's again, yeah. Do you establish these characters first, or you just chuck them straight in there from the off, and just let them go up against it? So like someone like Two-Face, for example, I think would be good because you're not going straight in for like the well-established previous ones like the Joker and Bane and stuff like that. Even though we've had obviously Two-Face, I guess, multiple times in Batman films over the years, but I think he might be a good one to start off with before you just sort of go right into top tier and just build a couple of low-level people around him as well.
Yeah. My thing has always been Ra's al Ghul because it's Damian coming into the picture. And Ra's al Ghul is a villain that you could defeat, and he can go into the background and go back to where are they from? It's not Kahndaq. It's something like that.
Yeah.
So you could defeat Ra's al Ghul because he's going to want Damian's body, right? That's kind of one of the stories in the comics. He wants the young body, implant his consciousness into that young body, and be Ra's al Ghul in a young capable body. So I really think that's what they're going to do, and I think that'd be really cool. I think Liam Neeson's Ra's al Ghul was very not comic accurate, just a white dude. Like Ra's al Ghul's Middle Eastern, so I think you can go with a really, really cool Middle Eastern Ra's al Ghul, comic accurate, and he could be a savage, and it could be very tied to it's his grandson. So this family drama, I think that could work out real well. And then so if the Batman 2 is coming out 2027. Don't you think that just completely takes Brave and the Bold off the table for that year? There's no way they drop two different Batmans in 1 year. What do you think?
Well, yeah, this is what I meant in the fact that he's probably said it's before 2030 because they need to get the Batman 2 out of the way. Yeah. If it's not DCU based, if it's Elseworlds based, they don't want to confuse everyone because people get a little bit confused between Elseworlds and normal anyway, even though they really shouldn't because it's you're told this is Elseworlds, this is not normal stuff, but people will still confuse it a little bit. So yeah, you need to get it out of the way. And you don't want to have that fatigue of having like an Elseworlds Batman and the DCU Batman coming out within the same year, do you? So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was possibly even like 2030, 2032 before we actually get Brave and the Bold.
Hey, if there's any news about this, it will be before 2030, okay? But man, that sucks. You got to take 27 off the board, and then before that, that's pretty much off the board. It's too early. They're not even talking about casting.
I don't even think 28 either. So, I think 29 or 30.
Earliest 28. Yeah, that's like the earliest possible time we'll get Brave and the Bold, and that would be lucky, right? So maybe 29. But you heard it here. It's going to be before 2030. So we got 5 years.
You're the big Batman fan, so can you wait another 5 years for Batman?
I could wait, dude. I'm not a big giant Batman fan. I think he has like the most great comics. Like he has the most good comics. Yeah. I think his on-screen presence is the best. But like, yeah, I could wait, dude. He's not my favorite comic character. He's not even in my top 5.
Fair.
Anyway, all right. I guess it's mostly DCU today. We got word that the Lanterns trailer was shown at some international event, or from international.
I think it was Mexico, wasn't it?
Okay. And we heard a little bit about the trailer. We heard that Jon Stewart, Hal Jordan is actually kind of a substitute teacher for Jon Stewart. So you could see where that's where a lot of kind of friction is going to come from. I don't think Hal Jordan is going to be wanted to be doing this. I wonder if he was if he's being disciplined by the Guardians of the Galaxy and like given a task that he doesn't want to because of some behavioral issues. You know, Hal Jordan is always getting on the Guardians' nerves. Another thing we got out of this is that they are going with these costumes or uniforms that you actually see here on screen, which are is artwork for the Green Lantern Earth 1 series, which is not the Prime DC universe. They gave different origins and different stories for all the characters. So it sounds like this is the kind of style uniform they're going to. That was kind of a surprise to me. Would you like, Andy, the uniforms from like the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern? Terrible movie, but I still kind of thought the uniforms were pretty cool. But comic accurate, or do you like these kind of uniforms? How do you feel?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's always a hard one because they kind of obviously want to put their own stamp on it. They want to. I guess it's like anything. They want to kind of like hint towards being comic accurate, but at the same time have their own look. So it is a difficult one to sort of nail. I think with Lanterns, or Green Lanterns, I wouldn't mind if they did their own ones and it wasn't comic accurate. I don't think like they can stray so far off that they'd be terrible. I'd be really surprised if they came out and they were just like if they did their own designs and they were just awful. I don't think you can really stray that far for the Green Lanterns. You can do different variations of stuff as we've seen, but yeah, I'm not fussed about the Lanterns ones either way, whether it's comic accurate or not. I think that's one that I could let slide. I would be happy either way.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of bummed. I do want the mystical kind of really cool, like, obviously going to be CGI. It almost looks like these uniforms could be practical if they wanted them to be. And it doesn't look too bad. These images here, like I'm not a huge fan of the Earth 1 comics, Green Lantern story specifically. Batman has a pretty good one, and actually Superman's Earth 1 is pretty good. But the way that these costumes look, I'm fine with that. It looks pretty cool. We'll see how it looks on, live action.
What did you reckon to the news where they said about this, that there was going to be like, what was it, the Squirrel Guardian that was in it?
Oh, that's right. So we have it confirmed that it's called Chip. I think it's spelled CH apostrophe P, or not apostrophe, just a little dash up there. That really screams James Gunn to me. When I'm excited for this project to not have James Gunn direct, love James Gunn, but I do want some more variety there and content. So it makes you wonder how much he is control of each individual project, even though he did put so much emphasis on the fact that they are prioritizing scripts, like they're not even going to start anything until they have a script locked in. But that's going to be hard for the audience to buy into. I don't know. I think you're pushing it a little far, but we'll just have to see how this squirrel is used.
I mean, James Gunn did a raccoon for 3 films, so
yeah,
I'm not surprised that we're getting a squirrel. But again, like you said, he's not supposed to really be heavily involved with this in terms of directing or producing or anything, and it just screams a James Gunn influence there, doesn't it?
It does. So I hope, I kind of still have faith that he will let his directors like make their movie and not have too much James Gunn as like he's not going to be over there being like make it funnier, right? Add a comedic scene. I don't think he's going to be doing that kind of stuff. But man, I'm really excited to get a taste outside of his directing vision. Clayface Lanterns, even Supergirl, to be honest. And speaking of Supergirl, we have a rumored trailer coming out also soon. Because they're going up to CXCP 2025, something like that. So what can you expect out of this trailer? You think we'll see Jason Momoa? Are you excited for this movie? What are your thoughts?
I am, but I'm not like massively excited, if that makes sense. Like, I want to see the next step of the DCU. Like, I enjoyed Superman. I think her cameo at the end of it was quite fun. So the fact that what we know about her story of what this film's going to be about, that actually excites me a little bit rather than just the generic, going to be on Earth, in Cal's shadow, and she's just trying to get out of that. She's dealing with her own trauma of Krypton, dying and stuff, and how she's dealt with that, and how she's going to turn that around from being like a drunk party girl that goes to planets with red sun, so she doesn't have her powers and can get drunk, to becoming like a proper hero. So interesting that she's already got like a superhero outfit. You think if maybe she was flying around like this, she wouldn't be an established like superhero with an outfit yet, or maybe it's just the fact that this is what the family wear. So it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, but it's not like it's hitting top of my list for next year, for example. But I would still be really happy to go and see this. I think it's going to be a good film.
Yeah, it is, because the comic it's based off of is very a solid story and very cinematic and very much an adventure through space, seeking out revenge. So I am looking forward to it. I'm actually really excited for this trailer because just to get another taste of the DCU, man. I'm pretty much excited about everything coming out of the DCU. Like, it seems like the news is actually getting a little worse as we get along, though. Like, I wanted it a lot different than Superman 2, and then especially a lot different than Jimmy Olsen. So, you got to wonder. But Supergirl is, man, because that Woman of Tomorrow comic is freaking awesome. Adding Momoa too as Lobo is very exciting. I hope he has a ton of screen time. I hope he's not just a cameo. I really hope he's a kind of a character we see poke in and out of the DCU throughout any cosmic stuff going on, because just such a perfect casting. Him as Lobo, I think, will elevate it from the page. Like, I think some characters are much better on the page, but some actually elevate and are better on the big screen. I think Lobo will be that. I think like Iron Man was that. I think he's better on the big screen, thanks to Robert Downey Jr. I think Captain America too, to be honest, better on the big screen.
But I mean, Momoa is wanting to play Lobo for years, isn't he? He's been banging on about it for a long time. So to go straight from Aquaman to Lobo, and he's just like, I don't care, I'm down for this. I've wanted to do this for a while. So I'm excited to see him play this character.
Yeah, and the style is just so different from Aquaman. All this face paint and hair and freaking leather and chains. But yeah, so looking forward to both of those trailers, actually quite a bit. And yeah, there's a few other nerd news things here. What's going on with Christopher Nolan?
Just what you're talking about, the Odyssey.
No, what else? We talked about a couple other little news things before we got on.
I'm not sure it was Christopher Nolan that I was talking about.
Okay.
I mean, I know that they released more info about Colin Trevorrow's cancelled Duel of the Fates Episode 9 for Star Wars, a bit more about the plot, about what was going on with him. Because, quite frankly, that sounds... The more I read about that film, the more it sounds about 20 times better than The Rise of Skywalker. Which, at this moment in time, is not hard. to obviously beat The Rise of Skywalker. So, but just the fact that we would have been returning to Coruscant, there would have been fights up on there as well, up on the old Senate building in Coruscant. I mean, just some of that just sounds absolutely outrageous. But I know that we were talking about, obviously, Rian Johnson. Was the fact that his Star Wars trilogy is now dead. That's confirmed.
Oh, yeah. Not Christopher Nolan. Yeah.
So confirmed that... I mean, I made a video about it and put it across our socials. No one's shedding any tears over the fact that Rian Johnson's Star Wars trilogy has been cancelled. I think I said in my video that I did that there are more people cheering about the fact that it's been cancelled than we're cheering that it's going ahead. So... Never mind on that one. I mean, but his Knives Out films are getting good reviews. People are calling it some of the best trilogies out there.
Well, do you think that he would... Because, he got stuck in the middle of a trilogy. Do you think if he had a full trilogy, that it would be better than what he did with Last Jedi, that was in between a story that didn't matter because it got rewritten and changed afterwards anyway?
I'm not sure, because part of the problem with Rian Johnson is that I saw this week on the back of this news that an interview that he did, a few years back, well before he did Star Wars, but he said that part of what he enjoys about directing is that if people come out the cinema, and half of them are absolutely delighted with what he's done, and the other half are disgusted and questioning and are confused by what he's done, then he's achieved his goal. And you can't really do that with the Star Wars universe and the Star Wars fans because, like they did with The Last Jedi, they will murder you. So you can't go in and direct a Star Wars film or a Star Wars trilogy and go, I want half the people delighted and the other half confused and angry with what I've done, because that's just not going to work. You're not going to win the fan base over, unfortunately, that way, because we know Star Wars fans can be a little bit toxic, a certain demographic of them. So yeah, I'm quite glad at the idea that he's not going to get to a trilogy, because I don't think he would have nailed it. I don't think Star Wars is his kind of thing. I mean, I know he's done other like good things along similar routes, but at the same time, I don't think that the Star Wars universe suits his style of directing and what he wants to get out of a film. So yeah, probably for the best, I would say that he doesn't do it. In the same way that I don't want what's his name, Taika Waititi to go anywhere near a Star Wars film either. You know, he fumbled. I mean, he got lucky, I think, with a Thor film, and then did trash after that. And then, so I don't want him anywhere near a Star Wars film either. I don't think either of those people should be anywhere near it.
Totally agree. Yeah, totally agree. The director of Starfighter, is that who's directing that one? Isn't it
Sean Levy, the same guy that did Deadpool
films?
And
Wolverine.
Yeah,
that should be good, dude. Are you excited for Starfighter?
Yeah, I absolutely am. It's got a good cast to it. Ryan Gosling's a weird one because I didn't used to like him when he was younger as an actor. I didn't really like any of his films, and the older he's got, the projects he's picked, I've
That's
kind
like
of enjoyed.
Matt McConaughey for me.
So I'm really excited to see him in there. Some rumors flying around. You know, a thing came out this week that Kathleen Kennedy just said to him, "Go and make the film you want to make. We're not giving you any parameters of you've got to make it like this Star Wars thing or make it like this. Just go out and make the film that you want to make." And so he's kind of been given free reign to do what he wants with the Star Wars film.
He just takes Vader and wipes out everyone in the movie at the end. He's like, he said he could do what I want.
I'm not sure that would fly when it's set about, what, like 10 years after the events of Episode 9. But but yeah, I am looking forward to that film. I think it's going to be a decent film. And obviously, they're making efforts to make sure it's good as well. Because obviously it's going to be, they brought on, like, was it some of the visualizations and cinematographers from the likes of Maverick and Rogue One. Top Gun Maverick, I should say, and Rogue One. So they're making an effort to make sure it's good. But this is the thing, though. I think these days, with all these films that we now get to do in the nerd universes that we follow, and the TV shows as well, you expect the cinematography to be on point and never to be bad. I mean, that's the thing about the Star Wars sequels. The cinematography and the look of them are beautiful. Whether you agree with the storyline and the plot or not is a different thing. But I think we kind of expect it nowadays, don't we? That all these films should look beautiful.
Yeah, for sure. And Ryan Gosling, that's not his only sci-fi movie coming up. Project Hail Mary.
Ooh, I am looking forward to this.
Me too. Did you see the recent trailer?
Yeah.
It looks so good, dude. And you said you have read the books, haven't you?
I haven't. No, it literally. I hope I've got them. I'm waiting to read them because I was debating: do I read the book first or do I watch the film first? Because I know that obviously some people get a bit antsy between the two if the film doesn't include a lot of the book and stuff. But I thought this one I wanted to read the book first because apparently it's such a good book, and I would then be happy to watch the film. Unlike like the Dune films, where I'm waiting for Dune Messiah to come out so I can watch it, and then I'm going to go and read the books because I know there's probably a lot chopped out of them and things are different. So, but yeah, I am excited for Project Hail Mary. I saw the trailer I think a couple of months ago, the first one, and it got me hyped up straight away.
Yeah, I'm so excited about it. It starts off so intriguing because this man is stuck in space. He doesn't know why. And then he starts doing these really cool like experiments with all these different tools to figure out where the hell he is, how fast he's traveling through space, all this really cool stuff before he starts figuring out more and more as the book goes along. So it's just one of those movies that you're going to be so into just the whole time, because that's how the book was, man. If you could pull that off with words, and it is a very cinematic story too. It's going to be pretty awesome. Oh yeah, I can't ask that. You haven't read it. Yeah, there's a character that there's a discussion on whether or not they should have included him in the trailers. And, but since he is in the trailers, it's that rocky alien thing that he interacts with. I remember being really surprised to add an alien presence when I read the book, and it was very exciting and surprising. So when I first saw that in the trailer, that was my first reaction too. I was like, oh, you got us hooked on a really good story. And that was like an added crazy thing that happened, like what I thought was in the middle of the book. And then when I was doing my comments online at a video that was having this debate, I was like, yeah, I remember feeling surprised at this. And someone responded to me and said that Rocky does appear in like the first 100 pages. So it's it's not like a big reveal at the end or anything like that. He's just a character that comes in, and yeah, very significant character. So I just thought that would have had a really cool impact if you're in the theater and there's already such a great story going on, and all of a sudden he's out in space and a freaking alien ship turns up, and you're like, what? So I thought it elevated it a little bit for me. Yeah, such a good book. Cannot wait for this movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only film I think it comes out in March. I think I'm correct, and it's the only film between now and March that I'm waiting to see, because there's nothing really that I've looked and went, there's nothing of interest for me between now and March. Yeah. So I'm quite happy to wait until March, and then bang, I'll be back to the cinema for that one.
Yeah, it's only 4 months away. It's not bad. All right. Well, yeah, it's kind of a light news week. Thanks for tuning into Why So Sidious, a Nerd podcast. What do we got next? We got a Star Wars fan cast. We're going to have a fun little episode where we're going to take the Star Wars universe and recast them with different actors. We're going to continue Stranger Things coverage. We'll have another Week in Geek out next Monday. So we'll see you next time. And thanks again for tuning in to Why So Sidious.